Hello, everybody. It's really wonderful to me to be here. And really thank you for inviting to me to the CEDEFOP and the rest of the partner of this important event. Yes, my name is Gloria Arredondo. I come from Chile, but I live in Spain, and the last year in Netherlands, but I'm working from Italy. In the framework of the EUROsociAL program, EUROsociAL program is a very important program for the European Commission for dialogue and supporting an interchange between Europe and Latin American countries. In fact, we are supporting to all countries in Latin America in different kind of policies. Later I explain a little more. But now I'm talking to you about our experience with the Pacific Alliance. Pacific Alliance is integrated for 4 countries: Chile, Colombia, Mexico, and Peru. But not talking more because I give the word to my colleague, is not by internet because the timetable is totally different in Chile, it's from Chile, but like a video. So I asking for the video to board.
Receive an affectionate greeting from Chile. I am Igor Dedic, in charge of International Affairs at ChileValora and coordinator of the network of experts in labor skills certification of the Pacific Alliance. I want to thank the invitation to participate in this 4th biennial recognition of prior learning, and especially to the Education and Training Service Center. Since 2019, the countries of the Pacific Alliance, Peru, Mexico, Colombia, and Chile, have been working under the idea that the recognition of prior learning, regardless of when and how they were acquired, they can be recognized and homologated with the Pacific Alliance. Since the beginning of this task, the support of the EUROsociAL program has been essential to advance in each one of the presidential mandates that we have received. We have a comparative study of the 4 competency certification system. We have designed a model to make recognition operational, and in the course of this year, we will carry out a pilot program. We are convinced that the recognition of validation supports a better incorporation into the labor market, can collaborate with public employment policies, and be an alternative to the change we are experiencing today: climate change, migration, information technology, fair transition, etc. Sorry, Gloria will be able to give you more detail of the work we have done, the community of our governments, and the professionalism with which we have worked on this innovative initiative. I wish you a biennial full of experience, learning, and lessons for the future. Thanks again, and have a great day at work.
Okay, now returning to our presentation, but try very quickly, okay? The first is I am working in European action, but this is management for 3 countries and also international organization from Central American country. This is the logo of our organization. FIAP is from Spain, Expertise France is from France, and ILA, Instituto Italo Latinoamericano, is my organization, and the CISCA is the Integration Association for the Country in Central America area, okay? And it's European Commission program. So, Igor talking about the different steps in the process that is relevant for us in this slide. 2019 started with this work. And 2020 was the first meeting. In this meeting, we created the network. Because if kind of the process is so long, so complex, if there are no really network with really commitment, it's impossible to do. In 2020, Igor told, we have done a report for each country, at the same time, comparative report, for try to have evidence, really evidence for the stakeholder and the president of the country and the Ministry of Labor work for take a decision for invest in this kind of the process. I am talking about the model for recognition and homologation between the certification of the VPL between in the country. You know, if you obtain your certification in Peru, you can move to Chile, and without problem, Chile recognize this certification. This is our objective, our task. So, of course, for that it's necessary show the evidence. This is possible because they are working more or less similarly, when good condition, seriously, transparent, because in fact, every country have a national agency for this kind of the system, VPL system. In Mexico, called Conocer. In Chile, is ChileValora. In Colombia is Escena. And also in Peru, Peru is the only one with no specific agency. It's in the direction of the Ministry of Work, okay? But I mean, really, there exists serious agency for invest in the VPL system. So, this is the process. In 2020, Foundation, in the report, because the report says yes, it's possible, we invest in the created the model, design of the model, you know, and now I explain to you a little bit. And finally, in 2022, this year, in March, continue with the process, the model has been accepted for everyone, and take a decision, okay, working, implementing, you know, and started with the pilot action. Also for testing with 200 cases, the person in different kind of the profile, different kind of competence. In fact, in the competence in the health, in care, in the construction, and in the hospitality. This is the process ongoing currently. I don't explain this so much, it's just an example. You know, this was the comparative report about how is similar or how is different in each country. Just example like was really systematic and serious and deeply analyzed, you know. But jumping, I sent to you, the organization, and sent to you the report. If you are interested to read more, it's possible. But just example was really good analysis, and now public say, in this analysis, we receive support for the CEDEFOP, Ernesto, thank you again, public, and also for RU. I don't know what is RU, but yeah, there. Thank you again, no? For orientation about the question, orientation about the what kind of the information would be necessary, comparative with Europe, etc. So finally, we, in that moment, in 2020, say, yes, it's possible, because the different countries working more or less, they're really, really similar, with different steps, with different phases in the VPL process, and also, very important, all the agency and take a decision foundation in the social dialogue. You know, I mean, with workers, employees, companies, and of course, the government. So, with this strong evidence and with this strong possibility, starting with the model, and this is more or less the process for the model, different parts, and the most important for us is this model at the same time, in parallel, working in the model, but in parallel, working for convincing to the president of each country for signature to a common agreement. Common agreement, in fact, truth agreement, because in this kind of the process, if you accept certificate from another country, it's necessary trust in this system. So also we have now this agreement, the signature of the president of the different country, at the same time, the model, I mean political, and technical step at the same time. There are two channels in the model, homologation and recognition. Homologation is, maybe is like the similar. So you can access to all. It's the similar. Your certificate in Mexico is absolutely equal, similar to Chile, for example, as all. Recognition is not similar, but I accept your certification. It's legal, it's value, and I accept. Why this different? Because, of course, not all competence, not all profile have been done with the same standard, and not necessarily exist in the four countries. They are different. So when exist and when is absolutely equal is homologation. When they are not exist and is in real a little different or exist but with a different name is recognition. I think it's more or less clear idea. Homologation, absolutely similar. Recognition is accept, is value, and is legal. It's legal because it's a national agency in each case. So this is the process, more or less, Now we are in the pilot action, but the idea is really working this model in 2023, next year. And also for the future, the idea is another country coming to this system at the same time, because few countries, asking to the Pacific Islands for take part of this integration area, integration region. For example, Ecuador. So if continue with this process, like the idea is also escalate, they incorporate new countries in this possibility. So this is more technical thing about how functioning, first step is eligibility, second step is the methodology in each case, homologation and recognition, jumping. It's more or less the same, this kind of the step. In fact, this kind of the schema, graphic, is for more the technical people in each organization, because they working, they implementing this model. So it's no, I can jump in because it's more technical, how functioning, But this is interesting because if you are one certificate, this is the different step. Of course, the idea, they are working in that, the idea is this model functioning by internet. So it's possible obtain this certification, homologation, recognition in your original country, and later you move to another country. It's absolutely, will be, we are working in that, will be absolutely possible. So first is application, reception, verification with the original country, there are connection between the different agencies, verification to the certificate, of course, resolution, yes, no. No is in fact when the certificate is not real legal, or maybe you jump in one step, or also some process was wrong. But the idea is to absolutely try to incorporate all kinds of certificate. But not only full certificate, is certificate for unit of competence, certificate for competence, and certificate for full profile, with different competence. Because the idea, if suppose you take one unit of competence in one profile, you can continue this profile, this process in another country, in another system, because you are in this process, in the framework of this model. And also, of course, accepting, but with some recommendation. Last idea, very few. Not necessarily take time. Last idea, of course, for us is really key success for our program, especially for the country. Because, you know, until now, there are different points you can read, but until now, this kind of the model exists in the formal education in Europe, in Latin America. There are agreements for formal education, and also for the informal education, but with a certificate in the National Agency for Technical Working, no, professional training. But no, with this kind of the system. For our point of view, maybe here someone told me, no, yes, we have, maybe. But for our point of view, it's the first time. No? It's the first time, and also it's really innovative model. For our point of view, also it's a kind of the another perspective for the migration. Because the perspective is you are not migration, poor people, vulnerable, no, you are my neighbor. So you are my neighbor working together. And we try working with this idea. Finally, okay, you can read. Of course, there are some obstacles, because if you take this certificate, recognition, homologation in another country, it's not absolutely sure you can integrate in the labor market, because integrating the labor market depends on another aspect, you know, social network, obviously legal to be legal in different countries, and of course also about the fighting against the prejudice for the foreigners people, because our perspective is neighbor, but a lot of perspective of the company is immigrant, you know, immigrant in the bad way. You can understand me, you know, and there are a lot of prejudice. So our next step is working against this prejudice, especially in the company. Finally, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you again for inviting to me, and also in the name of my program, EUROsociAL program, and also in the name of the network from the Pacific Alliance that in this photo in Cartagena de Indias last March, when it started with the pilot process for this model. Thank you very much.